Many students have questions about the structure of Brightspace and why I've chosen to do certain things. So when you get into Brightspace, we know that this is the home page, and it's just a collection of access points. It's not really something you should be working from. What you really want to do every time you get into the course is to click here on Content. And what I recommend every time you get into the course is to review the schedule and make sure that you are looking at the right thing for the week and that you're prepared for the items that should be handed in. And as you can see, my course opened up to the outline and schedule, and I just want to give you a little warning that every time you hit Content, it takes you back to the place you were last time you left it. So the last time I left, I was looking at the schedule. And if I scroll down, here is our schedule right here. And if I click on it, I can review exactly what's due for the current week. So I'm going to click on Chapter 1. It tells me what to read, what to watch on the YouTube channel, what to explore. And then down here, it tells me exactly what is due. How do I find these things, though? How do I find the Chapter 1 graded quiz? How do I find the assignments on long bones? In order to do that, you need to come back up here to the content link. To find something specific, you can always just click on Search Topics. So if I search the topics for long bones, and I would always suggest doing the most vague search that you can do. The fewer words you put in, the better. But if I click on this search topic for long bones, it has now pulled up everything that has the word bones and also long bones. And here, this seems to be a folder that I'm looking for. If I click on that, oh, look at this. The graded quiz is the first thing right here. So you can use the search, but what you can also do every week is you can click here on Lectures, and this will show you what information we plan to or would have covered if we had a 3-hour lecture during class, which is what we would have if we were in person or remote. All of these materials here relate to the 3-hour lecture, things that you can use to get prepared for it, and then also the assessment or the quiz based on it. Over here on the left, we also have a link for labs. If we were in person every week, there would be a 2-hour lab in addition to the 3-hour lecture. Unfortunately, in BIO171, there are many weeks, where we cover something in lab that we don't cover in lecture. And this makes lab and lecture almost like two separate courses. And this is why our class is arranged like this. Because in the spring and in the fall and in the summer, the placement of labs is very different because of the practicals. And this is why I've decided to have a module only for lecture topics and a module only for lab topics. Now, if we were in person or even remote, when your group says, we're done with the lab, and you start packing up your stuff to leave, I would say, no, you paid for an hour and 50 minutes of lab, we're going to use it. And I would say, please study the bones. And students would get out lists of the bones. They would go to the back of the class, get some of the physical bones, and this right here, bone practical, would lead you to that extra study time that you would have every week for the bones. In bone practical, from the left side menu, is a whole bunch of resources. And if we were in person, you would have this physical big list of bones, and then you just go to the back of the class, get a femur, and try to locate all of the things on the big list of bones. Right? So there'd be all of these resources, and you would be able to take a look at the bones. Then, sometime during the week, I would require you to take this graded quiz, whichever one is designated in our course outline. So the structure of our class kind of requires you to work from that schedule, to say, okay, the lecture for Chapter 1 is due this week. The lab based on this material is due this week. And I need to conquer this collection of bones this week. And therefore, after you familiarize yourself with the schedule, you just have to make sure that you're attending to the 3 other things that are here every week. There's also a module down here called Extra Credit Quizzes. There's an explanation in there, and I'll let you discover that. But I just wanted to say that the structure of our course, it's really based on my ease of access. And I just have to say, after trying about 6 different ways to organize the course for students, I've realized that each one of those 6 ways will only make 50% of the students happy. And so therefore, choosing a structure of the course that streamlines my ability to grade, find resources, and distribute them to you is really what this course is based on. And I know that might sound like it's not student-friendly, but it is. It is. Giving you one place where the schedule is posted. Giving you the separation of lectures 3 hours, labs 2 hours, your extra time of studying the bones. Having that physical separation here really drives home the point to each student that lecture, lab, and studying bones are the 3 major responsibilities that each student has every week on their own.